Hello everyone. We will look at charts in Microsoft Excel. We'll look at some ways to insert charts, various types of charts, editing them, various layouts, various styles, right? And some of the other things available with respect to charts. Okay. Now I've got a sheet here that says sales 2. Okay, in a file called data. All right. I can first of all keep my mouse on any one single cell of my choice within the data, all right, and I can simply hit the F11 key on my keyboard. F11 will quickly insert a chart as a separate sheet, okay, and remember this new sheet will be named as chart 1, chart 2, chart 3 or likewise, okay. Also note that this new sheet will be on the left side of the existing sheet. What you have by default is a column chart, okay. If I am not happy with the kind of chart that Excel has given me by default, I can always go into my design tab, okay. Remember, design tab is a contextual tab. Only when I am within the chart is when the design tab will appear. Also, same applies to the format tab, okay. If I keep my mouse outside somewhere, those two tabs will not appear, okay. See, my mouse is kept somewhere outside at the moment, it's not within the chart, all right. But if I keep within the chart, all right, I will have those two tabs. So I can go into my design tab, all right, and I can click on change chart type. In some of the earlier versions of Microsoft Excel, this change chart type command is available on the left hand side within the design tab, just above the name box, okay. But in the version that I'm using, it's on the right side. I'm on the 2016 version at the moment. So I click on change chart type. The window comes up by the name change chart type. I can click on, let's say, bar. Okay, I can take the first one within the bar. Okay, if I mouse over, it tells me various types like clustered bar, stacked bar, 100% stacked bar. Okay, but let's go with the first one and then do a right click and say set as default. Please note that in some of the earlier versions of Excel, this set as default button will appear somewhere on the bottom left of this window called change chart type, okay. But for this version, I can just do a right click and say set as default, okay. All right, so let's just set as default. I've taken the bar, the clustered bar, and I can say okay. So obviously this changes from column chart to a bar chart. Next time if I hit F11 on any data, I am going to get a bar chart for that data, okay. That's one way of working with charts, right? If I obviously do a Control Z, I can get back my earlier version of the chart, that is column chart, okay. And let me quickly go back to my change chart type. Let me quickly go back to my column. I'll take the first one, clustered column, right click, set as default. I like to keep it to the column chart, okay. But depending on the user's requirement, he can always choose from the several options available from the change chart type window. The pie chart, the bar chart, the area chart, XY scatter chart, right? Various types of charts are available in Excel. Okay, for now I can just go with column, and I've already set that as default, so I can say okay, and yep, back to the column chart. All right, let's go back to the data, the sales 2 sheet, okay. The sales 2 sheet had some data out of which we had made this chart, so I come back to that sheet. This time, let's press Alt F1. Remember, to use the F11 or the F1 key, you will have to, on some laptops, use the function key as well. So it's going to be Alt, function and F1 in some laptops. Okay, this time what happens is you get the chart in the same sheet. It's the same column chart, all right, but it's in the same sheet this time. All right, now let's just look at the design tab. Of course, we have the change chart type option available here as well, all right, but let's go and explore the design tab a bit more. All right, now here I have an option that says quick layout. All right, I can go to the drop down there and I can choose the one that, okay, let me just choose this layout. It says layout 2, and automatically I get those data labels added for every category. All right. Okay. Let's just explore further. Let's go somewhere down here, and okay, look at this one. It says layout 5. All right. Layout 5. If I select, it's going to give me a data table just below the x-axis of my graph, and it actually shows me the figures. All right, so the graph as well as the figures are available at a same glance. Okay, so I can just choose any one of these layouts. On similar lines, I also have got various chart styles, so I can choose okay, style 5, and I can see that the chart has changed. Okay, it's become more lighter in terms of color, right? I can choose this. It's got a background there, right? So various styles are available, and they are pretty self-explanatory. All right. Okay. Now, if I wish to do a swap between the x and the y-axis, all right, I can use this switch row/column command, which again is available in the design tab. Right? Let's click on that, and you will notice that my months, the Jan, Feb and March, my months have come as my x-axis, right? And the products have gone on to the y-axis. All right. Okay, if I do a Control Z again, or if I do a switch row column again, it's back to where it was earlier. So the Jan is in blue, in Feb there is maroon color, and for March there is a green color, like it was earlier. All right. Now let's take an example that I do not want to show the March data as a column graph. I want to show the March in maybe line chart type. Okay, I'm okay with the Jan and Feb being in the column type. I just want to change the March, so I can just do a right click on any one of the March categories. I can just do a right click and I can say change series chart type, and from the options available here I can choose line. Okay, I've gone with line. There's a preview that it shows me here, and I can say okay, and there you go. So my March information is now appearing in the form of a line graph. All right. Okay. All right. If I do not wish to do that, there is another thing. I can always do a Control Z, right, back to square one. Yeah. Another thing could be I can also plot some of the information on the secondary axis. At present, we only have the primary axis, which is on the extreme left hand side, right? But I can just do a right click again. Notice here that I select one of these green pillars, and all of the green pillars get selected. So Excel is smart enough, right? So I can choose format data series this time. I can choose the option here that says secondary axis. Okay, I can choose secondary axis from here. Just a minute, it's just taking its own sweet time to. Okay, right click. Yep, secondary axis. And there you go. I have a new axis now, which I can see on the right hand side. All right. Let's also look at another thing with respect to your graphs. Let's do a quick Control Z to get back the earlier one, or I can simply do a delete as well. I can simply click on the graph and the boundary of the graph, and I can say delete on the keyboard. All right. So let's come back within the data. Last time I had used Alt and F1 shortcut, or maybe Alt function F1 shortcut. This time let's go to the Insert tab. That's another way of making charts. But notice here that my mouse is kept within the data. All right. Insert. I can choose column. I can choose this one, clustered column. Right. Now let's again select one of these pillars. Right. Right click. And I can, okay, this time I will not go with right click. I will go to my design tab and I can say select data. I'll remove the tick mark on March and I can say remove from here, right? So I can also edit my charts, right? Not just changing the chart type and plotting something on the secondary axis. I can also remove items that I do not wish to show in my chart. So I've taken the March off. I'll say remove, and I can say oh sorry, not for the Feb, sorry, I'll just, okay, so by mistake I've removed the March and Feb both. I can say okay from here, and there you go. So the table contains Feb and March, but I only want to show Jan. that's where my that's what my graph shows me at the moment. Right. I can do a right click, I can do add data labels, and I can also add data labels by the right click method. So I don't have to always change the layout to simply add data labels. I can click on data labels and there you go. So this was about adding charts, changing the chart types, adding and deleting items, secondary access. Thank you.